These two buildings are officially condemned. Just take a look. You can't get inside. They put on these locks probably just at 3 o'clock. And that's when these notices told tenants that they had to be out. This blaze really spread quickly, as you can see from the damage over my shoulder. But to better understand how intense these flames were, I want you to take a swing over to the house across the street. As you can see, part of the siding, well, it's curled from all that heat. They are looking for 2 additional suspects. They are searching for them right now, canvassing the area. I can tell you they have found a gun. They've already received their federal return in the mail. But when they look for their Rhode Island return, it's just not there. It's on all iPhones. If you put in the wrong password too many times, well, then you're not supposed to be able to get inside the phone like this. We're live here in Burrillville. I can tell you that the police chief just let us know, yes, they have found the body of a man. Investigators just arrived here on the scene about an hour ago. Their vehicles are to the right of me, but just take a look behind me. You can see they are sifting through the rubble. These two buildings are officially condemned. Just take a look. You can't get inside. They put on these locks probably just at 3 o'clock. And that's when these notices told tenants that they had to be out, pack up all of their things. They only had a day. And as you can see, these notices are on several doors here. The deadbolt is going on as residents at 1274 and 1284 Pleasant Street in Fall River try to pack up their things. On Tuesday, the city told them they had until 3 the next day to move out before the building would be condemned. So what are you going to do?
I have no idea. I have a small child. I have a 6-year-old too. So, and a dog that just had puppies.
Still no word on the exact number of people displaced, but some families include children.
This was just a place for my family to be safe for the time being, and it didn't end up being safe.
The city will put up a few tenants in a hotel in Dartmouth if they have nowhere else to go. Do you think this place needed to be condemned? Was it that bad?
Yes, it's that bad and it needs to be condemned.
James Turner gave me an exclusive look inside.
Wow, look at this. Junk. Fire hazard.
Inspectors report 46 violations, including roach and bedbug infestations and missing or non-working smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. Tenants say the city had to turn off the heat and hot water earlier in the week, and fire officials checked on them routinely to make sure they were okay. I called the number to Krishna Priya Incorporated, and a woman named Susan called me back. She says she owns the company and the buildings. Susan says the city should have given her time to fix the problems before evicting tenants. She also told me she will pay back the tenants who paid for January. Now, it's not just apartment tenants that had to worry about this notice. Just take a look. This church earlier today, there was also a sign on their front door, but you can see the lights are on. They just told me, inspectors said they could stay for a little while longer. Reporting live in Fall River, Sierra Putman, NBC 10 News.
Early filers aren't getting their returns from Rhode Island. That might be you. Several of you say your tax filing was approved, but still no check from the state of Rhode Island. Well, we're being told the holdup is due to more people filing early and more oversight to stop fraud.
The night team's Sierra Putman spoke to a Coventry man who says his family needs this money and isn't satisfied with the state's excuse.
Ron Rogers just might be an anomaly.
I like tax season.
That's right. His family relishes tax time. It usually means they'll get hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in tax return money. The Rogers family filed on January 30th, 11 days after tax filing opened.
Because I figured, you know, first one in and then first one out.
You can see here, Rhode Island approved it, but the check hasn't come. And Rogers needs this money for his wife.
Get my wife's wisdom teeth pulled at the dentist because she needs the operation done immediately.
We've heard this same complaint from several people saying they've already received their federal return in the mail. But when they look for their Rhode Island return, it's just not there. And the state couldn't even tell us how long it's going to take. You can't say when people are going to get those returns or...
No, because it's on a case-by-case basis.
The Rhode Island Department of Revenue says the issue is complicated. The first hurdle, it's seeing a lot more early filers. As of March 9th, the Division of Taxation has processed about 43,000 more returns than this time last year. The second, the department is taking more precautions with tighter security and anti-fraud measures.
It's for us to make sure that the money goes to them and not to some scam artist down the street.
I just think that's something that they say to make people feel better.
And he's fed up that he doesn't even know what the holdup is. How many times have you called the state?
5 times today. I just gave up. I was kind of frustrated.
Now another day's gone by without a return. Another 24 hours. Roger says his wife is in pain, waiting for the money he needs to take her to the dentist.
The infection is setting in, and she's going through pain day by day.
Sierra Putman, NBC 10 News.
New on the night team, we're getting answers about why a Providence firefighter was hired after he was charged with domestic violence.
It turns out he's faced 3 more charges of domestic violence in the last year alone. The night team Sierra Putman obtained police reports, and she went straight to city officials for answers.
Providence firefighter Brian Dwyer is suspended without pay after getting arrested once again for domestic violence.
It's 24/7, so what you do off duty is as important as you do on duties.
We went straight to Providence Public Safety Commissioner Stephen Perry to find out why Dwyer was hired back in 2013. Despite facing a domestic violence charge out of Woonsocket, the 2005 domestic violence charge was dismissed, but the judge sentenced Dwyer to 1-year probation for resisting arrest and obstructing police officers who responded to the call.
Sometimes, you know, young adults get into some mischief as a young person in college or, 18, 19, 20 years old. And so there are always some circumstances in which a decision has to be made. And, you can't hold it against someone when they're minor petty offenses.
Dwyer stayed out of trouble for 9 years, but in the past year, he's been arrested 3 times for domestic violence. He's behind bars right now for violating the bail in a case out of Pawtucket. I came down to Pawtucket and got the police report in connection to that October domestic violence case, but there's really not a lot of information in this report, so I also put in a request to get the narrative. In March, Providence police arrested Dwyer. A co-worker of Dwyer's then-girlfriend called 911 after checking on the 21-year-old who did not show up for work. Responding officers report Dwyer said, quote, "I may have held her down in the bed, and it's possible I may have scratched her with my nails." The 21-year-old had an injury to her neck and told police she once broke her ankle after Dwyer pushed her. The domestic violence charge was eventually dismissed. NBC 10 looked at Dwyer's class and discovered 9 fellow graduates had run-ins with the law. Most were for driving with a suspended license, but one firefighter lost his license for drunk driving.
There are exceptions that we will hire you. All depends on the timing and the severity of the offense.
Reporting for the night team, Sierra Putman, NBC 10 News.